Welcome to Limerick Insider on limerick.ie, the monthly video news service updating you on the events happening in Limerick City and County. In this episode, we take a look back at 2011, featuring some of the highlights of the past 12 months in Limerick. Also, we take a look at what's on offer at the Hunt Museum. Four of Limerick's most popular and successful sporting heroes led this year's Limerick St Patrick's Day parade as the city celebrated being crowned 2011 EU City of Sport. Ireland and Munster rugby hero John Hayes, transatlantic rower Sean McGowan, Limerick GAA star Gary Kirby and former soccer player and manager Eoin Hand were Grand Marshals for Limerick St Patrick's Day parade.
I think Patrick's Day Parade has always been a great event, great occasion. So to be part of it this year, particularly as a Limerick Sports year, it's fantastic, and it's great for the sport of rowing that we have a representative from rowing in it.
Joe, there is a lot of great sports going on in Limerick, like with Special Olympics last year, rugby obviously, and soccer, Gaelic games. So it's a great city for sport, with boxing at the moment as well, with two great boxers coming from here as well. So it's a great thing to be involved in.
On April 14th, the Nobel Peace Laureate and spiritual leader of the Tibetan people, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, paid a special visit to the University of Limerick for an address on the theme of forgiveness. Watched by an audience of 3,100 people and thousands more on a live stream on the internet, the event was the largest on the Buddhist leader's two-day visit to Ireland, his first in 20 years, and his first ever visit to Limerick. The European Duathlon Championships took place recently in Limerick. The major sporting event, which took place throughout the streets of the city, was estimated to be worth over €1 million to the local economy. Limerick City welcomed athletes from 16 countries throughout Europe, as well as competitors from Russia and the USA, to compete in the championships, which were held in Ireland for the first time. The championship included three separate events: the Elite Race, the European Age Group Championships and the Open Race. All three events took the form of a run-cycle-run in varying distances, but in immediate succession against the clock and fellow competitors. Participants in all three events got the rare chance to race through the streets of Limerick City on completely closed roads. The Open Race winners were all from Limerick. Brian Jenkins and Rosemary Ryan took the honours, with a team from Limerick Tri Club winning the relay. Limerick hosted a spectacular Riverfest Summer Festival on the banks of the River Shannon over the May Bank Holiday weekend. Ireland's largest barbecue, a free live open-air rock concert, a water sports extravaganza and the Great Limerick Run were just some of the highlights of the four-day event. Thousands of rugby fans enjoyed the festivities as they flooded into the 2011 European City of Sport for the Amlin Cup semi-final at Thoman Park. A magnificent fireworks display lit up the sky over the Shannon and perfectly capped off the weekend's festivities. The first ever Irish Festival of Speed transformed the picturesque village of Adare at the end of the month. Marking the 75th anniversary of the 1936 Limerick Grand Prix, the festival featured the Limerick Motor Club Sprint, with 80 cars racing 1.5 kilometres on the Irish Festival of Speed's asphalt racetrack. Formula One driver Rubens Barrichello's Jordan F1 car was on display, along with the R5 Jaguar F1 car, which was driven by David Coulthard and Mark Webber. Some of the world's finest sports cars and supercars were also on display, including Ferraris, Maseratis and Bentleys. Some of the country's top open water swimmers took to the River Shannon recently for the 2011 Thoman Swim. Almost 50 people took part in the race, which spanned 1.7 kilometres. The swim began at St Michael's Boat Club Slipway and passed through Curgar Falls to Thoman Bridge, past King John's Castle and back to the finish at Howley's Quay. First female was last year's winner, Geraldine Hayes, while first male was John Battles. Event organiser Dermot Maguire hopes the Thoman Swim will go from strength to strength for both participants and spectators. This month saw the return of honorary Limerick man Simon Baker to his adopted city after 5 days walking on one leg from Dublin to Limerick. The Castletroy resident, who was a below-the-knee amputee, walked the equivalent of 9 marathons on one leg and a set of crutches to raise funds for the ISPCC and Childline. His one-step-at-a-time challenge meant that Simon and his supporters, including his trainer Jason Kenny, walked 257 kilometres in 5 days. Jason Kenny described Simon as an inspiration. Limerick Pride 2011 celebrated recognition of gay, lesbian, bisexual and transgendered identity this month with a week-long series of events. Now in its 10th year, the festival kicked off with a firework display at Howley's Quay. Other events included a barbecue, roller disco, comedy night and music in some of the city's bars and clubs. Mr Gay Limerick and Miss Gay Ireland were held in Dolan's over 2 nights, while the festival culminated in the Pride Parade, after party and Mardi Gras. Around 2,500 runners completed the 8-kilometre women's mini-marathon in Limerick recently. Local charities were the real winners, with hundreds of thousands of euro raised by the participants, including over 100 men dressed in drag. This was the first year that athletes were fitted with chips on their race numbers, which meant that every runner was timed professionally and the profile of the race was raised to a new level as a result. Cappamoore's Rosemary Ryan crossed the line first for her 3rd mini-marathon win. Dubliner Annette Keeley, who went to college in Limerick, came in second, while last year's winner, Orla Drum from Ballyclough, was 3rd. Limerick's streets were overrun with zombies recently during Outbreak, the city's first zombie festival. Zombie flash mobs, parades, movie screenings and music events dominated the city to raise money for the Cliona Ring Foundation, which gives financial support to families of children who are facing life-threatening illness. Despite the inclement weather, hundreds of locals gathered in the city centre to join in a massive fancy dress zombie shuffle through the streets. A flash mob performance from Michael Jackson's Thriller on Bedford Row set the tone and got everybody in the mood for all things gruesome.